It's a case that's captured national attention, and now the man that was wrongfully deported to El Salvador is being held right here in Virginia. 10 News anchor Abby Coleman joins us. She's in the newsroom tonight. Abby, you spoke to Senator Mark Warner just days after he visited Kilmar Abrego Garcia in Farmville.
John, Rachel, Senator Warner tells me that visit left him with some serious concerns, not just for Abrego Garcia's case, but also for what he saw inside of that Farmville facility. And Abby Garcia has really become a national symbol in the immigration debate. It's really the reference point for so many. He really has, and after being deported to El Salvador back in March, he is, of course, back in the U.S., where he faces charges and potentially another deportation. Now, Senator Warner says he's pushing for changes to ensure detainees are treated humanely while Garcia fights his case.
A few hours ago, I left the Farmville Detention Center, where I had a chance to meet with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I gave him letters from his family, and you can imagine how emotional he was.
Senator Mark Warner took to social media after meeting with Abrego Garcia, whose case has drawn national attention. Abrego Garcia has been held at the Farmville Immigration Detention Center since being detained by immigration authorities in Baltimore last week.
I think he felt secure in the facility. That was good news.
But Warner tells me he's concerned over pressure for Abrego Garcia to plead guilty.
DHS had already made one mistake and sent him to El Salvador illegally. He feels very much that they are trying to pressure him to pleading guilty on some of the charges against him.
Warner says the stakes are high, claiming the Trump administration's policies could send Abrego Garcia to a country where he has no ties.
If he pleads guilty, they'll deport him to someplace like Costa Rica. If he doesn't plead guilty, they're going to try to deport him to Uganda, where he has no ties, no knowledge. He's never been to Africa.
While Warner says he can't weigh in on some of the allegations from the Trump administration, he is concerned for due process.
In October, he has another hearing on due process. There should be no action taken on deportation of this individual until that due process claims are resolved.
But aside from Abrego Garcia, Warner raised more concerns over the facility.
Some probably belong there, but there were a number that had no prior criminal record. They were picked off the street. They had barely any chance to communicate back with their family.
He tells me he's working with the owners of the facility to get better access to food and health care for detainees.
I've been in a lot of jails and prisons. It wasn't by any means the worst. It wasn't the best. But I do think there are some basic things like not having curdled milk or making sure that you've got hand sanitizer and some of these things are not going to break the bank, but at least allow some level of humane treatment.
Now, John and Rachel, I did reach out to Governor Glenn Youngkin. His team tells me they're working on providing a statement. I also reached out to Attorney General Jason Miyares as well as ICE. I have not heard back from either of them. In the newsroom, Abby Coleman, 10 News, working for you.